Best car, SUV, or truck? Guess what? You're in luck. Frontier Motors is down the street. Got the best deals that can't be beat. Don't overpay, come in today. Doing business the old-fashioned way. Frontier, we've got the right price. Frontier, we'll treat you mighty nice. Frontier Motors, low overhead country.
Hello and welcome to the Frontier Motor Show. My name is Ivan Struckel, owner of Frontier Motors. And for the next 30 minutes, we're going to be talking about cars. And by the way, we're bringing this to you live at the CoWorks Annex in beautiful downtown Pensacola on Palafox Street. We've just recently started doing it here, and I love the new format. And if you are watching this or listening to this, we are going to have this on YouTube right now, streaming live. So if you have any questions, go to YouTube, plug in Frontier Motors, and you'll see my ugly mug. But anyways, for 30 minutes, we're going to be talking about cars, what's going on in the auto industry, a little bit what's going on in Pensacola, and also a lot about what's going on at Frontier Motors and why, when you're in the market for a car, you might want to give us a call or stop on in. What's new is Consumer Reports just came out with the new reliable ratings. I love this. It comes out once a year, and they have the new reliability ratings. Now, Consumer Reports does a lot of different surveys. A couple of months ago, they got the new surveys on how the best car out there, which is by brand, how the brands stack up, which is they compile a lot of data. One of them is reliability. The other one is roadability. One is customer satisfaction. The other one is safety features. They put that all together in a pot, and they come up with what they consider is the best car. And this year, last year it was the Genesis, and this year the best car is the Subaru. But if you take only reliability, which according to Consumer Reports, the number one factor that people consider when they buy a car is, I always think it's the looks of the car and how much the car is. That's what I would think, but that's not it. The number one factor they want to they think about is reliability. How is this car going to run? Now, for some people that keep a car 2 or 3 years, which believe it or not, there are some people out there that trade every 2 years. They're kind of car gurus. They love it. They don't really care about reliability. The car's not going to fall apart in 2 years. But what if you're the type of person that wants to keep the car for 10 or 15 years, put on 100 to 200,000 miles? Reliability is very, very important. Number one, as it was been for the last decade, as far as I remember, is Lexus. I love selling Lexus products at Frontier Motors because I never have a customer complaint. The only complaint I might have from one customer saying, well, I got to go all the way to Mobile for warranty work. But if you don't have any warranty work because they don't break down, you don't have to go to Mobile. You can get your service work done anywhere at a certified garage. Oil changes, updates, 10,000, 15,000 mile checkups do not have to be done at the dealer. Now, obviously, if your motor blows up, you got to go to Mobile. Actually, they come and get it, believe it or not. But I have never had a problem with that. That's number one is Lexus. Number two is a cross of Lexus, which is Mazda. Most people don't know, I didn't know this until recently, that Mazda is owned a small percentage by Toyota. They're collaborating. And Mazda has moved up to number two in reliability. Reason this is very, very surprising and cool is Mazda is not that expensive of a car, which means that for those of you that are in the market for the first time and you're looking at an inexpensive car, you can go with a Mazda 2, a Mazda 3, which are under $20,000, $25,000, and get a very reliable car. Number two for reliability is Mazda. Who would have thought that? Number three, which last year was number two, is Toyota. Does everybody know that Lexus is Toyota's Highline brand? I think almost everybody knows that. Does everybody know that Genesis is now Hyundai's Highline brand? Genesis 3 years ago used to be a model of a Hyundai. They had a Hyundai Equus, or Hyundai, however you want to call it, Equus, and then they had the Genesis. Well, they'd used the Genesis name and they branched off and say, okay, we're going to create a luxury division. Now they have the G90, G80, G70, and some SUVs coming out, which, by the way, last year, Genesis was the number one rated car brand, not for reliability, but brand out there. They loved it more than any other car on the market. This year happens to be Subaru. Number four is Porsche for reliability. Crazy. I still think of Porsche being a rotten old car. Not because of the cars themselves, but 20 years ago, I mean, they were like the old Harley Davidsons. They fell apart. They had oil leaks. They had problems. Not anymore. Porsche is number four. So if you want a cool car and you got the money, I'd suggest buying a Porsche, even though you got to go to Mobile for servicing. Again, they don't break down very much. Genesis is number 5 for reliability, pretty cool. Hyundai, can you believe Hyundai is number 6? When we started a dealership 23 years ago, Hyundai was a crappy car, so was Kia. So was Daewoo, which they don't even sell here anymore. They wouldn't last for the life of the loan, so we couldn't get financing on them. They'd break down so fast. Not anymore. Kia, by the way, is number 9. So Hyundai and Kia, which are co-owned, are number 6 and number 9. Subaru is number 7 for reliability. Again, number 1 for overall brand. Reliability, they're number 7. Dodge went up 13 points to number 8. That's really cool. Mini Cooper went up 5 points to number 10. We had lots of problems with the Mini Cooper 6 and 7 years ago. Matter of fact, I didn't even want to take him in trade. We had a lot of engine problems, and these are major problems, turbocharger problems. Not anymore. Mini is a pretty cool car as far as reliability is concerned. I love when they come out with these reports because it helps me. The nice thing about being an independent dealer, folks, is that we sell every make and model. So if you want a Fiat 500, which, by the way, is the worst rated car according to Consumer Reports, we can get you that Fiat 500 because they're not all bad, but overall they're not rated very good. A lot of issues. But that's what you want, then we will get you one. By the way, I don't normally buy Fiat 500s. I used to when we had a local dealer, but the dealer went out, and now you do have to get servicing out of town because we don't have a local dealer, and they do break down a lot. So what's my recommendation? If you ask my opinion, it's not good. A lot of people don't ask our opinion. One of the reasons that we do this show is to get people, to let people know that we will give you an opinion for free. Some people feel obligated that if they ask us questions, that they have to buy from us. We do not make you feel obligated to buy a car from us. We feel, and by doing this for 23 years, it's working really good, because we started as the lowest, we didn't have a dealership, to being the number 1 independent dealership in the southeast area. We sell between 200 and 250 cars a month, which is a lot. When you consider, I've had this on the last show, that the average new car dealership was, number 1 was Toyota, and they average 140 cars. The average Toyota dealership sells 140 new cars. Frontier Motors sells about 200. Now, why do we sell that many cars? Because of word of mouth, our reputation, from people that come in and ask us advice, and we tell them what to pay for a particular car if they're buying one in another dealership. Now, you would think that it's our job to talk them out of buying another dealership. But what if you like the dealer? What if you like the salesman that you ran into? There's a lot of good salesmen out there now. There's a lot of bad salesmen, there's a lot of bad dealers, but there's also a lot of good dealers and a lot of good salesmen. But what if you like them? You still call us and say, hey, I found this car over at Joe Blow Motors. I really like the guy. I really like the car. I've had inspectors, good car. Tell me what I should be paying for this car. And a lot of times, by us having 400 cars sitting on that lot, we can just look at one of ours. Hey, I got a car just like that. And we can sell that car for $15,800. So what are they asking, by the way? Oh, they're asking $18,000? Don't get mad at them. Maybe that's what the book value is. Maybe that's the NADA book value or the Edmunds that you got online, that they got online, and that's how they're pricing it. But maybe that's not their bottom line price. Now, some dealers have gone to a one-price selling system, which means there's no negotiating. I know that's what CarMax does. I know that's what Sonic does. These are conglomerates that say, well, we've got a new way of selling cars. You don't have to haggle. And of course, a lot of people don't like to haggle. But what if their car price isn't a good price? Now, all of a sudden, you're forced to haggle. But they won't, they can't. So you stop at Frontier Motors and we will tell you what we can sell you that car for. Let's say a neighbor's got a car for sale, somebody at work says, hey, I got my little Honda Civic, it's a 2-year-old Honda Civic and I want to buy a pickup truck. And they post something on the bulletin board saying, Honda Civic for sale, 2017 model, 45,000 miles on for $15,000. Now how do you know, other than by going online, if that's a good deal or a bad deal? Well, you call Frontier Motors and we will give you not a book value, but a selling value, what I call the real value. Now, how do you get a real value? You can't as a private individual. You can only get book values. Real values are compiled in auctions throughout the nation. And the largest auction chain in the nation is the Manheim, actually the whole world is the Manheim Auction Chain. We do have a Manheim auction right here on W Street. All the data is compiled. Now, ours is a relatively small auction, about 600 units a week is what they sell. Orlando, which is the second largest auction in the nation, runs every Tuesday. They run between 5,000 and 6,000 cars. The Manheim auction in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, is the largest auction in the world. and they run on Friday, and they run between 10 and 12,000 cars every single Friday. Now down here in the Southeast, they run between 20 and 25,000 cars. All those cars that are sold every week, the data is compiled in the auction reports, which I have access to. You do not, as a private individual, have access to that. The bankers don't even have access to that. But if I know what a particular car is selling for, I can figure out, well, I need to make this much to stay in business, so I put a profit on there. I figure out, well, it takes me $200 to ship the car to my doorstep. It takes me on an average to get the $200 to get the car set up, which can lose a detail, an oil change, and a safety check. So I can tell you, okay, that particular car I can sell you for $15,700. What are they asking? Well, they're asking $18,000. Well, get them to drop the price if you like the car. If you like it. If they won't drop it down to $15,700, pay them a little more if you really like the people. Pay them $16,000. But don't pay someone to do business with them. If they don't drop that price to what I'm telling you, within reason, then come and give us your business. And that's how this works. And what if they do come down to $15,700? Who are you going to recommend? Most of the time you're going to go, hey, those guys at Frontier Motors, they told me to buy that car at that other dealership. They told me what to pay. They did the Carfax for nothing. A lot of dealers have links to Carfax, but when you click on it, it's not free. It's $39.95 plus tax. We will do the Carfax for you at nothing. All I need is the ID number of the car. Within minutes, I can tell you the history report. I can fax it over to you. I can email it to you. I can just tell you what it is if you want to call the dealership. I can also, when I plug that ID number into my system, it's in a complete appraisal system that I use, it tells me a lot of things that you can't get. Within seconds, it tells me, number one, what the history report of the car is, what the average selling price in our area is, and then I click one more button, it'll tell me every car like that for sale, it defaults to 150 miles. So I know that if you're looking at a Chevy Impala, hey, there's 23 of them available within 150 miles, and this is where they're at. And this is how much they're asking. This is the miles. I can go, when I bought my Acura NSX, if you don't know what that is an Acura supercar. It's about a $160,000 car. When I clicked on 150 miles, there was nothing available. I clicked on 500 miles, nothing available. I clicked on nationwide, there were 11 available in the whole nation. So when I bought the NSX, which obviously I bought it to sell it, not to drive it, even though I am driving it, and I do like driving it, but it's for sale. I wanted to make sure that when I had that car at a small lot at Frontier Motors, that I had the best selling price in the whole nation, which by the way, I do. And we talked about depreciation before. It's a $162,000 car that you can buy at Frontier Motors with 2,000 miles on it for $133,000. That to me is about a $30,000 reduction. And by the way, they don't discount that car when you go to an Acura dealership. They only get 1 or 2 a year. They only sell about 200 in the whole nation every year. So it's a very specialized vehicle. We happen to have one right here in Pensacola for $30,000 less than new. When we talk about less than new, I always bring my commercial with me that our friend Dave Ramsey does for us. And the reason I talk about Dave Ramsey, because most people know that he's the money guru, and he will only recommend a used car dealer. And in Pensacola, he picked us. I didn't call Dave Ramsey and say, hey, Dave, will you do a commercial for us? You're the money guru. He said, no. He called us and says, I'll do a commercial for you if you want it. And they did the research through the Better Business Bureau and through Google reviews. By the way, as far as independent dealer, we have the highest Google reviews of everybody. It's hard when you're a used car dealer to get good reviews. What do people think about used car dealer and used car salesman? Not too good. So for us to get a 4.7 Google review on used cars is pretty darn good. Here's what Dave says.
Hey, Dave Ramsey here. Listen, there is a reason why car dealerships have such a bad reputation. They make it incredibly difficult to buy a pre-owned vehicle. But there's always the exception. In Pensacola, Florida, it's my friends at Frontier Motors. They've been serving the Pensacola community for 22 years. People hate being pressured when they buy a car, and I tell you that won't happen at Frontier Motors. They'll give you a total out-the-door price, and they'll put it in writing. Frontier also offers a free car advice service for the Pensacola community. So if you're ready to sell the car, call Frontier Motors for a fair price analysis and a free Carfax report. They love buying from private individuals. Or if your car got totaled, Frontier Motors will tell you what the replacement cost should be. To check out their inventory or see all the free services they provide, visit FrontierMotorsInc.com. That's FrontierMotorsInc.com. And don't forget to tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
Dave does a really good job talking in 60 seconds, what it takes me half an hour to talk about and tell you folks, and he summarized it up really good as far as what we offer the Pensacola community. And you'll notice I'm not talking about individual cars. A lot of times if you see the Blab Show, for example, on TV, they talk about this is this car for this price, this car for this price. We feel we have fair price on all our cars. Are we always the least expensive? Heck no. And we don't advertise that we're the least expensive. One of the reasons we're not the least expensive, I believe that we have the best value. There's a difference between the cheapest and being the best. The cheapest means you're going to be getting a priced car that's in sub condition. And what I mean by that is the auction, for example, rates their cars from 0 to 5. Don't ask me why it's not from 0 to 10, like normally that's how we rate, but from 0 to 5. If the vehicle is not a 4.2 or above, which is an excellent car, I don't even look at the car. A lot of dealers will buy a 2 and a 3, which is a below average condition car on purpose. Why would a dealer buy a below average car? It's obvious. So they can advertise it at a cheap price, because they think that's all people think about. It's cheap, cheap, cheap. How cheap is it? And of course there are some people like that, but most people put more emphasis on the condition of the car, the mileage of the car, certain equipment they're looking for in a car, than they look at price. I feel price is more like number 8 or number 9. I think a lot of things are important. Number 1, obviously, is the car itself. Do you like it? One of the reasons that our salespeople unlock every single car every day, 400 cars, can you imagine unlocking 400 cars every day? Is so that you can go behind the wheel, because that's one of the things that's going to be critical, whether you like that car, not other than the looks. The first thing you look at a car, well, I like that car. So what do you like about it? You don't even know how much it is. You don't know how many miles are on it. You don't know anything other than the color. If you're not colorblind, you know the color, and you know what it looks like. So you like it so far. Now the second thing is, how does it fit? How does it feel when you put your hands on the wheel? How does that seat wrap around you? Can you see over the steering wheel and over the hood of the car? How are the blind spot? How is the back seat? How's the shifter? How is everything else? So we unlock all those cars every day, so the salesmen don't have to run back and forth and make you feel obligated to buy from them because they're working hard. And that's what a lot of new car dealerships do. Go on a new car dealer's lot and tell me how many lots you ever will see that unlock their cars. It doesn't happen. The reason they do that is to make you feel obligated. It's a little sales tactic. The harder a salesman works, the more obligated you're going to feel. I actually have people tell me that. Well, you know, I got a price from that dealer, and I'm giving them a price on my car. It's a better deal. Why won't you buy my car? Well, I promised them I'd come back because the guy worked so hard for me. So there goes that obligated feel. Don't get suckered into that, folks. Don't make a dealer feel obligated. Go where it's the best deal. And hopefully, obviously, when I say best deal, not necessarily the price. And I always tell people that a customer will say to me, and this happens all the time, where I found a car down the road, it's $1,000 less. And usually it's Miami or Atlanta. Oh, I can buy that BMW in Atlanta much cheaper. Well, folks, I buy out of Atlanta, so don't tell me that. The reason a dealer might have one advertised less, because the car is less. And what I mean by that is worse condition, more miles, bad color makes a difference, and less equipment. So when a customer comes in and says, I found one cheaper down the road, the first thing I ask them is, where'd you find it? Within seconds, I can pull that car up, I can Google the ID number, I can run the original window sticker of that car compared to mine, because the first thing I'm going to gear towards is the equipment of the car. Well, wait a minute, mine has navigation, they don't have navigation. Mine has blind spot monitoring and cross lane detection, 2 great safety features. Mine has automatic cruise control, a really good safety feature, which means the car will stop in case the car in front of you hits the brakes hard, your car will stop automatically. These are safety features that my car has that their car doesn't. Okay, so my car is a little more expensive, but it's got $4,000 worth of features for $1,000 more. Now, obviously, you're going to want those features if you don't care about safety. I always snicker when a customer says, I don't care about that. Oh, you don't care if your car stops automatically? No, I don't care about that. That's pretty stupid. That's what I think, at least. Because it saved my life a couple times. And not because I'm texting and driving, because there are other distractions when you're driving. And maybe that guy in front of you is hitting that brake a lot harder than you're hitting your brake. Because maybe a deer jumped out in front of him, or maybe a kid's playing ball or something in the street. And the guy jams on his brakes as hard as he possibly can. Well, if you're not paying attention, you're dead. Well, if you got automatic stop, you're not dead. Your car will stop automatically. Cross lane detection is a great feature. that if you fall asleep at the expressway at midnight, your car will automatically correct its steering or alert you and wake you up. Pretty good safety feature. Blind spot, my neck is awful. I can't turn around. I hate driving a car without blind spot these days, because if I'm on the expressway, it'll tell me if there's somebody on my side that I can't see. That's why it's called blind spot detection. It'll warn you. Great safety features that some cars have standard, but even more expensive cars like Lexus has them as an option. Can you figure this out? A Toyota Corolla comes standard with the automatic cruise control, blind spot, and automatic stop. But a Lexus doesn't. It's 3 times as much money. It offers as in a package, a technology package. I can't figure it out. So anyways, getting off track a little bit, that's what sets us apart from the competition, is that we buy cars that are like brand new. Like Dave Ramsey says, the first year depreciation will knock your socks off. I feel bad a lot of times when customers come in and I said, well, you got a 2019 model car with 5,000 miles on it. Why do you want to trade it? Well, I bought the wrong one. I really don't like it. Or I'm having twins. I need a minivan. Or I shouldn't have bought a 2-door car. I can't put the car seat in the back. Or I'm into bicycling and I can't put my bicycle in the back. There's all kinds of reasons people trade, and then they find out because they financed 100%. You know, that's what every dealer does these days. No money down. Well, guess what happens when you put no money down? You're upside down in your car. You owe more than the value of the car immediately, and that's without the Dave Ramsey depreciation of $9,200 in the first year loan. You finance the taxes, which were $2,000. Well, that's another $2,000 you're upside down. You financed the tag transfer, you financed the profit that they made, you financed everything, and you're wondering now why you owe $30,000 on a car that is appraised for $20,000. In 2 years, you lose 37% of the value of the car in 2 years. A 2-year-old car will lose 12,580 cars, according not to Frontier Motors, but according to Consumers Reports. On the average, some way more than that. For example, Highline cars, BMW, Porsche, Audi, Lexus, they lose so much money because they're more expensive. And there's not that many buyers that can afford that car. Heck, if you can buy a brand new Toyota Corolla for $20,000, brand new, why would somebody buy a 4-year-old Lexus for $20,000 other than the fact it's a status symbol? I think the Corolla is a better buy. Now, when I sell a used Corolla, I better be able to save you some money. So I do the research to find out what they are. I bought 3 brand new Honda Odysseys 2 days ago. People say, well, how'd you get those? Well, they had 50 of them at the auction, not 50 Odysseys, but 50 brand new Hondas. So some dealer either needed cash quick, had those cars paid for, took these brand new cars to the auction, and were selling them at used car prices. I bought one with 3 miles, one with 10, and I think one had 7 miles on them. And I did the research to find out what a brand new one is. And these are brand new 2001s, 19, one's a 20. 2 19s and 120, 2020 model. I'm going to be able to save you at least $3,000 to $4,000. Now, I'm not saving you $9,000 because these are brand new cars. Now, folks, I am not a Honda dealer. Pensacola Honda is our local Honda dealer, and I always tell you, if you're going to buy a brand new car, go to our local dealer, go to Pensacola Honda. But if you want to buy one at a discounted price, it's kind of a freak thing that we have these cars that are brand new, but that's what I specialize in. Buying these cars that are alternative to new. Now, sometimes I'll buy it. We just sold a 2019 Odyssey last week. It had 9,000 miles on it, but it was about $5,000 less than a brand new one. And I'm not talking about the list price of a new one. We all know you can get a discount. Now, Pensacola Honda is a Sonic-owned dealership, so is the Auto dealership, which they have one price selling. So they'll tell you this is what the list price is. This is our discounted price. There's no negotiating necessary, which makes it easy for you if you like the price, makes it bad for you if you don't like the price. Makes it easy for me to beat their price. So I'll have to say, well, what if I save you $5,000? Will you buy mine? Well, is it a clean car, no accidents, non-smoker? Yes, it is. I'll take yours. Do you have 2 sets of keys in the books and records? Yes, I do. Nice thing about Carfax, they have almost all of the places that you go for your service and repair shows up on the Carfax report. And again, folks, what do we offer at Frontier Motors other than cars? We offer free advice, which includes free Carfax reports. They're $40 a piece. We do them for nothing. If you need to know what your car's worth because you want to buy a brand new car and I can't talk you out of it, I have that problem all the time. My job is to talk you out of buying a brand new one. People will call me up and say, I'm buying a brand new car. I don't care what you say. I don't care how much you save me. I'm buying brand new. Well, fine. Let me tell you what the invoice is of that brand new car. I have the new car cost guides at the dealership. I can tell you what list price is and what invoice is. Number 2, I can tell you what the rebates and incentives are. Number 3, I can tell you what your car should be worth to me and to them. They should give you more money for your car if you're spending money with the new car dealer, shouldn't they? At least a little bit more, $1,000 more. Why do you get a low appraisal at some dealerships versus others? It's not because they're trying to rip you off a lot of times. A lot of times it's because they don't like your car. They just don't need that car on the lot. They don't like your vehicle. Maybe they've got 6 of them on the lot. Maybe they don't have enough money to buy your car, but they don't tell you that. That's why you get a low appraisal. That's why you always want a second opinion. Now, folks, we've only got 3 minutes left, so by the way, this is on YouTube right now, so if you go to YouTube, type in Frontier Motors, you can still see my ugly mug. We're going to put this on Blab TV, of course, on cable and satellite. It's going to be running. We're going to also have this on Facebook. It's also going to be on our website. Frontier Motors is at 230 Beverly Parkway. We've been in business for 23 years. We started with 25 cars. We have 425 approximately today. We sell between 200 and 250 cars a month, which means we're flipping these cars like crazy. They're coming in, they're going out, they're coming in. So don't just look at our website. If you're looking for something particular, do the old-fashioned thing. Pick up a phone and call us and say, hey, I'm looking for a 2015 Audi. I've got a customer looking for a 2019 RX 350L. And if it's not on the website, maybe I have it coming in. We normally have about 20 to 30 cars that haven't been put on the website because I just bought them. So, how about if you got a car and you want to get rid of it? Dave Ramsey says, hey, if you got 3 cars go down to 2 cars go down to 1, you bring it to Frontier Motors. Within 15 minutes, we'll tell you what we'll write the check for. We also do consignments. Sometimes your car, I had a customer the other day that had a Panamera, a 2012 Panamera. Well, I didn't know nothing about them, but I did the research and say, hey, I'll tell you what, I don't really want to buy your car, but I'll sell it for you. I think I had that car for 20 days and we sold it for him. And we don't charge a commission. People say, well, how do you do that? We tell you what we're going to net you. So if I tell this guy I'm going to get you $30,000 for that car, if I make over that, anything over that's mine. Very easy. No percentage, no flat fee, no fee whatsoever. The only thing we ask you to do is drop it off detailed. If not, we'll send it out and get a detail for you, and you just pay us what it costs. That's Frontier Motors, 230 Beverly Parkway. Check us out on Facebook. Also check us out on YouTube. And when we get likes on Facebook, it really helps us because it draws more people's attention to Frontier Motors. That's what it's all about. Free advice. We can buy your car from you. Been there for 23 years. Check out our FrontierMotorsInc.com. I want to thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Have a great day. I'll be listening.
Guess what? You're in luck. Frontier Motors is down the street. Got the best deals that can't be beat. Don't overpay. Come in today. Doing business the old-fashioned way. Frontier. We got the right price. Frontier. We'll treat you mighty nice. Frontier Motors. Low overhead country.